Joy and Tease Talk mindset. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's find some joy in the struggle. Okay, well, before we get to the struggle, guys, I've got to brag for a moment. Just got to brag. Well, maybe it's part of the struggle anyway, because I really struggle with plants.
Sorry.
She be doing the most. The most.
My bad.
But I do. I struggle with plants, but as you can see, look at this beautiful orchid. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh my goodness. Anyway, my hubby came in today, and I want to say that it's from being more intentional with my what do we actually finally named it? I called it Pillow Talk, but she just put it over in, I think, health. But going to bed on time and making sure that I have those conversations. And look, he was thinking about me, and he brought me a plant. But y'all, there's a lot to this, okay? My husband automatically knows I've never, don't bring me flowers. I kill them. So it's always been this ongoing thing that he brings me like fruit bouquets and stuff like that. So it kind of shocked me to see him come with this. But it was, his first words was, it was just so pretty, and I thought of you. How thoughtful is that? It was just so sweet. But I'm not gonna lie. And then y'all, his next words was, and babe, it only takes you putting ice in there, 3 ice cubes 1 time a week. Why is he saying that? Because he already knows what my struggle is. I forget, I don't do, by the time I remember, the plants are dead, like those plants I got out on the front porch. I even saw them out there, and still, my mind went blank.
What plants?
Those dead ones that were supposed to be planted over there. I even saw them before they died. But
Which ones? I chunked them.
I know, but I'm just saying, that's what plants and flowers generally do in my life. It's a struggle, but they sure are beautiful, and I'm just glad my husband thought of me anyway. He's all over the place. So I asked Teese to help me, right? She's always doing plants and going on. Everything in my office has always been fake. Y'all look at that little round ice cube. That's one of my husband's ideas too. He happened to see some ice, some round, some what do you call it? You call it a sphere, a circle?
Yes, my aunt has this refrigerator that makes these big, huge ice balls. And I've seen ice balls in other places, but like out of somebody's refrigerator, she bougie. So it was just like, wow, I had never seen it before. And because this family likes things that are just odd and like we love weird things. And so I was like, I have got to show these to my guys, Pastor and Trevor, because they would appreciate it with me. And they did. You see, they did.
So yeah. Then next thing you know, he's out finding ways to make him some ice balls. We weren't buying a new refrigerator, so he found another way to do it. It's kind of neat. So, but I just thought I'd have to start the day off and give y'all something beautiful, but it really segues into what I wanted to talk about today. Sometimes it can be a struggle to maintain those things that are important to you, especially when it comes to family. Yes. So even that moment was created by being at Auntie Darlene's house. And I realized that I allowed in my schedule, guys, I don't know, I've told other people this, I'm going to tell you what their struggles always, things you teach, there's a struggle to live what you teach. Okay, so that's my biggest thing today. There's a struggle to live what you teach, because after taking on the care, going in and everybody getting scheduled days to help with mom, to balance the coaching program, to balance writing life, other commitments, I realized, I don't know if it was you or if it might have been you. You was like, you don't have a day off anymore. I didn't realize I didn't have a day off.
Yeah. That's
something we teach. You got to have some time to regroup, to revitalize, to refresh, to restart. Ain't that what happened to hubby's phone just a while ago? He didn't understand what happened, but he needed a reboot.
Something. Because it was messed up.
The struggle's been real. So we happen to have a wonderful, I can say this, But one of the things I did stick to, even though I work every day of the week, I had said I was going to be intentional with the new year that every second Sunday of the month that I would go to my mom's early on that Saturday so I could have that time with my kids. Sunday at home, cook the meals, and we have time. Guys, let me tell you something. We did...
Grandkids. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Y'all hear that mess? Oh, she ain't gonna get on my own show and then try to talk trash.
It's allergies.
With all with my kids, yes, and my grandkids. That's family. My kids act like I do all this for my grandkids. Let me tell you something. This one right here spoiled. She won't even make a potato unless I make it.
I won't eat it unless you make it.
Because I baked it, y'all. I can bake her one, pull it out. She won't even put the stuff in it. Won't even eat it. Let it go bad. Just let it go to waste, talking about because I didn't make it because I was going to prove a point one day. Then I really realized she wasn't going to eat it.
If Pastor decided to go get salmon and he invited some of his buddies over to cook with him and they made the salmon instead of him, guess what I'm not eating?
What if it was good?
I ain't going to know because I'm not eating it.
I don't know what's wrong with her.
I'm devoted and I'm loyal.
Is that what devotion and loyalty
yes,
looks like?
That's exactly what it looks like.
Okay. I would say it's so important to press through. Y'all, the struggle's real to live what you teach. But like I said, this past Sunday was a true reminder for me that my family is so important. That the rest of the week I was so much more revitalized. I didn't realize how much I needed it. We sat around the table, we prayed together, we ate together at the table.
Yep.
It was beautiful. So I'm not going to hog the show. I've been hogging the show the last couple times, so.
That's not true. You have stuff to say, so I sit here and I listen.
I know.
Listening is one of my things on my assessment.
It is. She is a wonderful listener, but I know they love to hear your feedback.
I'm sure they don't.
I don't know what I'm going to do with her. I know what I'm going to do after this. That you reminded me of that salmon. It reminded me that
That salmon is so good. I bet you Kayla didn't get her any either.
You know what? I didn't see
because I reminded her that it was out there.
Oh my goodness. My husband does make the best salmon, y'all. And I'm just like, wow.
It is. It's very good.
He's really building brownie points today. This all week. All week he's been like extra sweet.
Maybe it's you. You weren't acting right. Now you're acting right, so now you're being sweet.
I can believe that. I can believe that. I wasn't intentional enough. Not when it came to, like I said, now that we have the bedtime routine and it includes me being intentional, having those conversations, us doing Sudoku puzzles together. We did that last night. I had to ask for help because I was like, I don't see another way. We got in there together and that was fun.
I think that's beautiful. I think for me, my struggle in doing practicing what we preach, basically, is all of what you just said, including that last statement. Because sometimes you be like, God, are you listening to my prayers? Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm not righteous, because it says the fervent
prayers of the righteous availeth much.
So I was just like, I don't know, because somebody, I always feel like I take my past aside. That's what somebody I always feel like.
She does.
But we not dealing with him. We talking about you. Who gives that spiel?
Me.
But no, that was my struggle this week, is understanding who I am as a human being, as a woman, as a daughter, so many different roles that I have, because what people don't realize when they are out there and we're in our sin sexually and we have children outside of wedlock, or if we don't understand how God wants the family structure, we annihilate the mental processes of other people. And I say that in a conversation that you and I had when I was like, my prayer to God is teach me how to be me as a 40-year-old and not an 8-year-old little girl. Yeah. And living my life right now and not based upon what happened to me years ago. Like one of my survival things is if I see things to be where it's similar to things that have happened in my past, my automatic mindset is to go into protect mode. And I know for me, there were a few things that took place this week. I'm always looking at behavior because in the situation I grew up in, I needed to know if you was gonna get hit, you was gonna get beat, whatever the case may be. I didn't even. When I lived with my mom, of course, there was abuse there, not from my mother, but from her boyfriend that initially ended up, he killed her. And we weren't his kids, so of course we got abused in that household. That's just statistical. Then my family came in and they took us in, but there was still some things with people outside of my family that I lived with that were verbally abusive. And if anybody know me, for the most part, if you get past my walls, I'm a jelly bean. I may have a hard outer core, but on the inside, it's just gooey and chewy. And I remember my mother always saying, oh, she's my youngest, or she's my most sensitive child. And I'm very sensitive. And so I try to avoid situations that poke at that chewy part. So I don't want to be yelled at. Like that's the first thing if you yell at me, I may not come back at you yelling, but a guard goes up and I become what you want me to become in that moment. And so,
a chameleon?
Yeah. And because, I wasn't trying to get kicked out in any home I went in. I wanted to make sure I added up to what they needed me to be in that moment so that I wouldn't get put somewhere else. Not to say that my family would do that. That was my mindset as the kid because of the structure I had been brought up in up until that point. And so I find myself even now, I do things for people. Don't get it twisted. I love making sure that everybody in the house is taken care of. Even here, if I know I'm going to Dallas for the weekend, I make sure I cross all my T's, dot all my I's for the people I live with. So make sure that things run smoothly in the household, the things that I normally would do. Yeah. But it's because I love them. And so my struggle this week was, God, give me balance. Because now I don't know. Like sometimes I do things and I'm trying to figure out, are you doing that so you don't get kicked out? Or are you doing it because you truly love these people and you care about them? And that's a battle for me. It's a huge battle. And so now my prayer is, God, help me to love without hypocrisy. Help me to love without not just expectation of others, without an expectation of myself, without feeling like you have to do this in order for this to happen. Because the reality is though I am appreciative of the people in my life, God gave it to them. So if it is time for you to go, it's because he set that in place and not necessarily because of something that took place there. So what am I saying? That took me to, it took me to the inciting incident.
Gotcha.
And Lord, show me how to live according to some of the rules of the inciting incident. And they tell you when it comes to your I have all this extra writing knowledge, y'all, that I should not have because I do not write stories. But they tell you about in the inciting incident to make sure it's within the timeline of your characters. Because if it's not in the timeline of your characters, then it's hard for your audience to connect emotionally.
Also have it on page instead of off stage.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And because they need to go through it
With the character.
with the character, because that's how you say, oh man, or whatever the case may be. Or if you bring it up, you better make sure that you one heck of a writer to bring them back to why it is that that's taking place. And that's where I am in my life. Is God, show me how to be vulnerable. Show me how to let people in when I am going through, or when things are taking place, or even now I'm emotional behind what I'm saying to you because it's a real place for me. I don't want to be 8 for the rest of my life. I don't want to search and know and I don't always want to be searching to figure out where I belong, even within this household. The people I live with have been very good to me. They love me beyond my understanding, like real talk. And I know sometimes for me, when Pastor had brought you this, I thought it was so beautiful, because I'm always telling her that you have to, if we have to renew our relationship with, well, not renew, but if we're building our relationship with God throughout the course of our lives, how much more so are we doing it? We're the bride, and if we as the bride have to do it, marriage resembles who God is to the bride of Christ, then how much more so does she need to be doing it in her marriage or any other woman? Anyway, I've learned that because I don't have those things, my automatic thing to do is not to find joy in it. And to just refute it, because it'll never happen to me. And I was thinking even this week, like, it's so hard for men to love me, you know? And it was one of them things that had me toe up even now. But it was just like, God help me not to look at that. Because I look at y'all and I think it's so amazing, and I have to battle. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Latish, you ain't gonna never have it. Men, they just don't love you, boo. And you have to accept that. And that's the crazy negative talk that I tell myself. And then it's like but then God comes in with scripture.
Come on.
And he begins to cleanse it, because the battle is should I have these feelings? Should I want a man in my life? Should I want my father to be present? Because some people just don't have that. So you need to get over that and all these things. Anyway, I said all that to say I have been my own struggle this week, and the things that have taken place in my life. And I'm like, God, teach me, even in this pain, even in this heartache, because I have to deal with it, because I deal with y'all. So now I'm finding myself, because I didn't allow myself to heal back then. Now I'm going through it all over again, and I hate it. I literally hate it, because I don't like being vulnerable. So that was my struggle. I don't know if any of that made sense, but this is me bringing my insight and incident to y'all in the timeline, because hopefully at the end of this thing, I will be healed.
It's so beautiful. Wow. I'm just awed by the, I don't know what word you use when you say you're honored that you feel safe enough here. You feel safe enough here to become vulnerable. Because until we start dealing with it and putting a name to it, verbalizing it, writing it down.
Yeah.
Because I'm serious this week. I've really, really, really seen the scripture be true.
Yes.
And even everything that you mentioned, I know in the scripture he created that to be.
Yeah.
For us to be loved, or he wouldn't have loved us. Not enough to send his own son to die for us.
Yep.
So it's beautiful to just expose it.
Yeah.
So like you said, it is time to heal.
Yes.
That's what the cross is all about.
Yeah.
Is that very healing that he didn't get down. He bore every stripe.
Yes.
For us to experience that very healing. And I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed, not in a bad way, but it's beautiful. And then, wow, I didn't know you was packing all of that this week. I knew something was going on. It's like she ain't quite right. Even knew today you weren't quite right. But I don't be knowing what it is. So,
And don't think that my family is this horrible, because they're not. I have a beautiful family. And sometimes we go through the things that we go through so that, because I'm not the only one in my family that didn't have those things as it related to what I get to see here. And so even now I stand as that person that's like, y'all, it really is real. Like, I really do see it. And it's not to say that you guys are perfect in any shape, form, or fashion. As you have we're human, we're flawed. That's just until Christ come back and rapture us up and we're glorified in him for real. That's just the process. But it's just like, you have to accept it, because if I don't go through it,
come on,
then who's gonna do it? And why not me? Like, maybe that may be the reason that I'm here. That might be, I don't know. It's like the inciting incident. Sometimes you have those things that happen in like the Sixth Sense. You didn't know what the inciting incident was until the very end of the movie. And so it was just like, wow. But they kept you so intrigued because they still kept a thread of it in there to where you were just like, oh, wow. And maybe I am that catalyst that brings people in my family or whoever to a point of saying, you know what? If God did it for her,
come on,
why can't he do it for me? And sometimes it doesn't look, though. We live in this world where, in this generation now, where it's about money and that's the measure of success. But who's to say, I don't have nobody's money, not like that. But I can't tell you that I'm not at a place of peace and love and harmony in different aspects of my life. So I don't know if any of that made sense, but
no, that's what we're here for. That's what this platform is all about. Let's bring our struggles to the table and find the joy in it. And I love your hope. Even though you said this is how I felt, even though I'm my own worst enemy at the moment.
Yeah.
But I still heard hope, because like you said, if you can see it here, because I wasn't deserving.
Yeah.
You can see it here. And so many times I'll be wanting to make you feel it. I don't know how to make her feel more apart. What else can I do to make her know she's family? There's nothing you can do. You can mess up right now. This is your home at all times. We are your family. So I don't even know how to paint the picture even more. So I do understand it's a journey that you have to travel through, but I serve a faithful God.
Yeah.
I serve a faithful God.
And even as I was in prayer this morning, and I had that aha moment of forgiveness, that's why it's so important. Because if we don't forgive, we're not able to move past certain things. And it's not fair to the people that come along to be who God has called them to be. It's kind of like when you say when people don't want to receive your blessing, you like, look, don't stop my blessing. And to me, that's what forgiveness is. Unforgiveness is you stopping that blessing from continuing on. Because there are kids who are despised by grown folk because of something their parents did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like, even then, I was just like, God, help me, because no one should get the residual of a past life they don't live in. Y'all don't know what's in my head. You don't know what I'm going through, what I'm warring with. And it's not fair because y'all didn't bring it on. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when you love people and when God shows you a love, you want to be able to replicate that. But you can't replicate anything if you're a broken glass, because no matter how many times people feel you, you're going to still leak.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Well, wow. I don't even know how to end it. after that. That was so amazing. I can't wait to see what God does. He's already been doing it. This is because I know you. This is big. Thank you, Lord. I'm very, very thankful right now. May His love continue to wash us clean.
Amen.
All right, guys. Connect with us at www.joykmassenburg.com. We'll see you this time next week.